from Bass Hole Studios in Hollywood, California.
Yo, what time is it?
You're listening to I'm a Bass Hole with Doug Bass. We've all been one.
He's an asshole.
So let's laugh about it. Now, here's your host, Doug Bass.
Hey, what's up, Bass Holes? It's Doug Bass. Welcome to I'm a Bass Hole. Thanks for joining the show. Please subscribe, review, rate, go to the YouTube channel for the full video experience, all that good stuff. We got an awesome show today. I'm really excited. We have comedian and internet personality Jason Nash in the studio today, and joining us along with him is my co-producer Keita Mascaro, also a comedian. We're going to jump right in because we got a lot to talk about. Let's go. Jason Nash is here in the studio today. Jason, how you doing, buddy?
Are we live?
No, we're not. Well, we're live here because we're living, but no, we're not live on YouTube or anything like that.
I was so confused. I was like, why doesn't he put the intro in after? But
I can, but you know what? Once we're done with this, it's ready to go. Unless something horrible happens that I got to cut it out or whatever. But like, it just saves me work at the end of the day.
Are you switching as we go?
I am, yeah.
Oh, you got a little finger over there.
I'm a DJ / podcast interviewer. It's crazy. I mean, sometimes I have someone helping me out with this, but like, it's still it's a lot. Yeah.
I'm gonna talk now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So now the camera's on me?
The camera's on you.
Oh. And so you must be a busy guy that you need to package everything all at once. It saves you time.
Yeah, I don't have an editor. I don't have a crew.
Yeah.
Per se. So I gotta cut corners here.
I want to do that when I do my podcast. I always want to like read the ads while I'm there, but I feel awkward in front of the guests. So I wait for the guests to leave,
and then you do it separately.
Yeah.
Now, because you could bake that in and make it funny, right? Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do that sort of.
I mean, I don't think I've ever made an ad funny, but they're necessary.
They're necessary.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any ads yet, so we don't have to worry about that yet because we don't have any sponsors.
Perfect.
So yeah, don't worry.
We could end up having a dog rescue sponsor.
We could have a rescue sponsor. I'm trying to work on a couple
sponsor.
things.
We're actually sponsoring them
by
putting ads in.
we're actually asking for money for their rescue or something like that.
You guys are sponsoring over at the rescue. You've got ads up there.
Yeah.
It's backwards.
It's backwards. Yeah, it's bass-ackwards right now is what I'm calling it. Yeah. But welcome to the show. Thanks for coming down to the studio. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate you carving out some time. So Jason is a stand-up comedian. He is an internet personality who kind of, you made it big on Vine back in the day, right?
Yep. I made it. I was on Vine. I made a movie for Comedy Central, and then I was trying to. Vine was starting, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll sell a few movies. And then I got really lucky. Do you know who Brittany Furlan is?
Yeah, we had her on the Bass Hole show, the live show.
I used to go do stand up with Josh Adam Myers, and we'd go do shows or whatever. And Brittany was his girlfriend at the time, whatever. So I would see her and hang out. She was always super nice. And then all of a sudden, she was this huge star on Vine.
Yeah. So
she came to my house one day, and she was like, "Oh, I'll make some Vines with you." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah, I always loved her. Still love her.
Right. She's
great. And then when she left, I had like 100,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Because she broke out on there too, right?
She was like the biggest for a time.
How long was Vine around for? Because I was on there for a little while when it first came out. I made a couple of videos, but then I just stopped doing it for some reason.
I think like 2013 to like 2016.
What happened to it?
It just like Go ahead.
Didn't Instagram just completely wipe it out?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is what happened. And I think people just got bored with it, or it was the same. Yeah. It was 6 seconds, so you saw everything. You saw everything that could have been done.
It was a 6-second video that you create? Is that what it was? Because I remember editing in the camera, right? Like you had to do it literally in camera, like old school, I have a camcorder and I'm going to make a movie kind of style. Like there's no post or anything like that.
Yeah, and then you could hack it. People started, like the really good Viners, like Logan and Batch, they started editing on a computer, and then they were like, that was crazy. Like, oh, they found like a hack, a way to upload around it, and then but it was really fun. And then it was, for a time, it was great because you actually, that was the first time I ever got paid for social media. Yeah. So that was insane. I was in my house and somebody called me and they were like, oh, do you want to go to Mike Tyson's mansion for, I don't know, like $3,000?
To go to his man, just to go?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even there. It wasn't. It was.
I know walking around.
It wasn't Mike Tyson's mansion. It was a mansion that maybe they shot what was the movie with Bradley Cooper and Zach Galifianakis? The Hangover or something. Anyways, there was tigers there. There were like Zach lookalikes, and then I just got there and I was like, okay, what do I do?
It was like the set of Mike Tyson's house,
something like that. Yeah, and then they go, oh, you just make a bunch of vines and tag the company or whatever it was.
Wow.
And yeah, and I was just shocked. I was like, wow, I was like, you can get paid to do this. This is crazy.
So that was kind of like the beginning where you're like, this might be a new career move situation for me here. Like,
yep, that was.
What were you know, you were always a stand-up comedian even before Vine, or did you start doing stand-up after the Vine success?
No, I was like trying to do stand-up around town. I wasn't touring or anything, but I would go and I would like work on my jokes, and then those jokes became a movie. But I was never really good at it, and so then I'm around in like April or May, I started writing stand-up again. I'm trying to do it again. I'm going on tour, and I go out to little cities and blah,
That's
blah, blah.
great though, because now like you're able to get better spots and work on your material more. I'm imagining just being on the road outside of LA, which is the golden key to comedy. I think just working on your stuff outside of here.
I was in Louisville the other night. I performed to 56 people. It was fucking the worst. It was
really
it
was the worst.
Louisville is such a cool town.
I know it's like a new comedy club. I love the comedy club. They were super nice, but. They have two comedy clubs in Louisville. One's called Laugh Louisville, and one's called Louisville Laughs.
Right.
So in my show,
same club.
I'm doing my show, and then like 6 people are walking in the middle of the show, and then because I'm a YouTuber, people, I don't know if stand-ups have this, but because I'm a YouTuber, people think they know you. So they start talking to you right away. Yeah. They literally are like, so the guy walks in and he's like, Jason, I went to the wrong comedy club, and I'm up on stage. I'm in the middle of a joke about my kids. And I'm like, I know, I heard. Just come on in, laugh, Louisville laughs. Go ahead, sit down. And it was.
Is there like the clubs are calling each other like, I think they're here for your Jason show. We're at the wrong,
Yeah. So they went to the wrong show, and then I heard some other people went to the other comedy club looking. So some people came to my comedy club looking for a different show.
That's horrible. Why don't they change one of the names? They're just like idiots about it.
It's crazy. It's Kentucky.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Louisville, man, they're all on meth. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Can I interject? Because I'm gonna have to leave in a minute.
That's right. Keita was a basshole and double booked himself.
Well,
where do you have to be? What's more important than this?
He's got a call. He's got some.
It's a call with the band Hanson. We're
really.
Which
let me tell you something about Hanson.
Don't tell me something about Hanson.
Hanson, that kid who sang,
there's 3 of them.
The lead though.
There's 3 leads. But go ahead.
You're
talking about Taylor.
One who's saying Taylor. That kid was the shit.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to them, but
have you guys?
They're just talking to Keita. Well, that's what happened. They're just calling Keita for no fucking reason.
You dog. So have you seen the video on YouTube? 1997, them singing the World Series, the national anthem at the World Series.
I don't think I've seen it. No.
Okay, you have anybody that's the 2 people that are going to watch this.
Yeah.
You have to see that.
All right.
Basically, it's they get on. Everything goes to them.
Yeah.
They're like, Hanson, sing the national anthem. There's like 70,000 people. It's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
The whole stadium boos.
Oh, really?
No. I'm not kidding. The whole stadium, and they're like
for the
kids
national
at the time.
Wow.
They're not booing the national anthem.
I know,
but Hanson.
But it's crazy that they would. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You can hear it. They're
really?
booing.
They were
kids.
hated.
And then you see this close up of them, and they're sitting there, and you can see them just like
crying.
Because at the time they're teenagers, and I think
that's a hard move. Yeah,
I think Zach, the youngest of the 3, he was probably 10, 8 or 9.
The drummer was like 4 years old. I remember. Yeah, he was.
They proceed to sing an a cappella version of the national anthem, which is literally the most beautiful thing I think I've seen in a stadium. By the end of the song, the stadium is going batshit crazy.
Really?
It's the most beautiful 2 minutes of video.
Right.
It's insane. But anyway,
we'll
we're hopefully going to be inking a deal to make a film about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I know about them is the Mbop. Yeah, that's it. That's all I know. Mbop.
Well, it's because they went. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I want to stick to Jason.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be on this show at some point.
Yeah, we'll get them on next week.
You're gonna get Hanson, huh? I'll come.
There you go. Yeah.
So You had a show the other night that I
Oh yeah,
had the pleasure
I had
of
another
taping.
bad show the other night.
No, see, this is the thing. I feel so bad because you think it was bad. Do you still think it was bad after watching the tape?
I couldn't watch it.
Really?
I was just like, oh god.
I get that. Though.
I will watch it, but last night I was like, I can't do it tonight.
I really want you to watch that tape because
right.
it was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Are you on drugs?
Jason, it was so.
Talking about
Jason, it was.
Doug, it was so
Where was
bad.
the show? Where was it?
Malibu.
It was-
First of all,
that venue you were talking
Aviator
about.
Nation.
a show in Malibu already. You're like, oh no, like they don't need comedy there. You know what I mean?
They just want to stay in their houses.
Yeah. They can walk outside, talk to Adam
Right.
Sandler if they
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like talking to somebody really funny. You know. But yeah,
Well,
it was just tough.
it's a very young crowd. It's
Right.
Connor Wood. He hosts it, and there's a lot of his fans that go there.
Was
and
it
they're
all his fans? Are they
not
all
all
there?
his fans,
Yeah, okay.
but a bulk of those. It's a super young crowd,
Right.
And they're like, it's probably the most viciously hipster asshole vibe of any place I've ever
I
seen.
gotta check it out.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think they weren't hipsters. We're not talking like Silver Lake.
No, they're not
Or-
Silver Lake. They're like children of rich entertainment lawyers that
Yes.
live in
Right.
Malibu.
Yeah,
They
that's
want
how-
something to
that's
do.
how-
Yeah.
Aggressive hipster, rich hipster asshole. That's
Right.
kind of, and I shouldn't say this because I want to keep taping there.
No, I'm sure you will. They're not. They're not going to hear this.
They were fine. I want to be clear. Like the people that booked the show, I love them, and the show was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I was so grateful for it.
Right.
But yeah, it's a crowd of people that. This is what we said after the show when I was talking to my friend. They were like, and you know, when you're performing to people in their 20s or early 20s, like, you know, there's a certain way that they think, and there's a certain way that I think, and there's a certain thing that I will say that like it doesn't connect with them, and it's my job to do a better job of connecting with them.
It's a hard crowd to go into, like a 20-year-old crowd. I'd say. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm 42, but like, yeah, I remember doing a show once, and it was like all like 22, 3-year-olds, whatever. And I planned on going in and talking about like my marriage or whatever. And then I was like, they don't want to fucking hear this shit. And I was like, you know, then you got to figure out what works almost.
Yeah, but I will say this though. I think sometimes I'm super young in comedy. It's really easy to the knee-jerk reaction of thinking that silence means they're not connected to the material.
You're not. They're silent.
engaged. They're interested.
You're not doing a good job.
That's not totally true though, because I was looking around. I was in the back taping,
Yeah.
and they were hanging on. They were totally zeroed in on what you were saying.
There is a difference because like I did a show like the other night, and it was like, yeah, they were interested. What I was like one night, like the night before, it was really good, and they were laughing at everything. And then in San Diego, they were like interested but not really laughing. And I was like, huh. I was like, now it feels like I'm doing a speech almost or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yes,
I know this
yes.
worked the other night, and now it's like a speech I'm giving these people.
And you are the only comic that hit on the Israel thing.
That's what happened, Doug. That's where I fucked up.
Well, I
I
don't think that was.
I
go
make,
ahead.
I make
Topical
some, I make some
stuff, yeah.
jokes about
Yeah.
Malibu, and it goes okay. The first 2 jokes are good. It gets laughs. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And then I said, "Oh, you guys have locked up 27 miles of beach here with your homes. Like, I can't even go on the fucking beach."
Right.
And then I said, you know, that beach when I'm down there, it's it's like your West Bank basically, and that went like,
Right.
oh.
Because they're like, no,
Like it's very fresh. Like we can't say that right now. Too
Yeah,
soon,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
No. So that was the turn I took.
Right.
But I'm learning.
No, you
I
know what?
don't
You
know.
you gotta try stuff, and you know, I mean,
If you listen to that tape, you will hear me cackling the whole fucking tape in the back. And it's,
Yeah, you and my fiance are laughing and watching me bomb. I mean, that's, Doug, isn't that the thing too with comics? Like you know somebody, they're like pretty funny, like they're
Yeah.
a good person. You hang out with them, and then when you watch them bomb, it's the best.
oh yeah, because I mean, we've all done it. We've all been there.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, and then you know that happened, and then like, you know, and then you talk about it afterwards or whatever.
Yeah.
Or blame the crowd or whatever. It's like,
Right,
You know,
right.
But
well, it
you
really
gotta try
hurts-
stuff. You gotta try.
it really
stuff, you know?
hurts my heart that you think you bombed, because I looked at it. I was like, this is you were really riding a wave in there. Now it might have been a wave of uncomfortability
A
in the
wave
crowd,
of-
but that's good. That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
Look, each
because
show-
I saw a comic the other day seriously bomb, but not in a, like just really bombed,
Right.
and it was awful.
Well, each show you got to take an experience from, and you know, you learn things from each show. Every show is different. You know, every crowd is different. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
when I was in Louisville. Like, I was like, was like, oh, this I know this wasn't great, but this was really good. You know, like someone came up to me after and they were like, wow, they're like, you hung in there.
Yeah.
You stayed up there for an hour.
Well, it's like I mean,
yep.
especially like Louisville, like you have YouTube fans coming in there, and you know, now are they when you go there, are they like expecting you to talk like about some of the bits you've done on YouTube or whatever?
Yeah.
And then you go into like, you know, your regular material or whatever, like a lot more stories, that kind of thing.
I mean, I do material, and then I always tell like, you know, 3 or 4 stories from the videos, and those are great because they want to hear that, and then, you know, they have jokes attached to them, and they know the videos. So I'll say like, hey, do you remember the time I was buried alive? And
Right.
and they'll be like, oh, then finally they're interested. You know, that's what they want.
Really?
See. Yeah.
That's cool though, because like you already have like, you know, you have a following obviously online, so they're
Right.
going in with like stuff that they know you from, and that eats up time on stage. I would imagine that you can just
Yes.
kind of like, you know, go into like 10-15 minutes of whatever based
Eats up
off
a
of
ton
whatever.
of time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did I did a spot TJ Miller's show at Zany's in Nashville Saturday night, and that was like, okay, no YouTube stuff. I gotta like be a real comedian and try,
Right.
you know.
So when you're opening for someone, you do like stray away from the YouTube stuff pretty much, or unless it's like
Yeah.
expected of you to kind of just do regular material.
Yeah, like I opened for Murr from the Impractical Jokers. I did some shows with him. I'm doing some more, and when I go up there, it's like 15 minutes, and I don't do anything about YouTube.
Yeah. That's it. Is it? Kid, are you leaving?
Yeah, I gotta run.
Hey.
I mean, I'm excited about this
Hey,
call. I'm
thanks.
super bummed that I'm gonna miss this.
Thanks for stopping by.
I'll come back in. It's not gonna be a really
Send a
long call.
photo. I want
Yeah.
to see
Send a
what
photo.
they look
Yeah,
like.
ask
grown
Hanson
up.
if they want to come on the show. Yeah.
They would love it.
All right,
just-
good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck
there
with
you go.
good
All
luck
right.
with Hanson.
Goodbye, Keita. There you go. There's Keita, everyone. Like a true bass hole coming in and leaving. That's what you get, though. You know, that's what it is. All right. So what was I talking about? So stand up. So are you enjoying it more now, being a YouTube personality? And is it easier? Is it harder? Like,
No, it's so hard. I hate
Yeah.
it so much.
Yeah.
Even when I went and did your show, like I get so nervous.
really, you were great on the. You
I was
were
like,
you know, you were a judge.
Why do I do this?
You didn't even have to have anything prepared for that.
I
show.
know, even that. Even
Really?
that. Yeah.
You're nervous. You're
to
nervous
judge-
going
Yeah,
in.
just be up on stage. So,
Yeah?
I gotta be funny. And
Yeah.
being funny is so hard because
It is.
It's you. Even if you are funny, even if you make a joke right now and you make me laugh, like
Right.
dying laughing, like it's over.
It's over
in a second, and then you got to do it
and then you
again.
gotta do it again.
Yeah. It's
No, you're right. You're right. It's absolutely excruciatingly painful sometimes.
especially
Do it.
when you watch the greats, when you watch like
Yeah.
Louis or like Theo Vaughn or like Kevin Hart or
Oh
something.
yeah. Some of these people, like when
do they
you
do it?
when you watch them, and it's like I have no business being up here. Sometimes I say
Yeah.
to myself, and it's like, like I love doing this. I love interviewing people. I love the podcast. I think I'm a good host. You know, and I do have some good bits, but like to keep coming up with stuff all the time. It's like you constantly got to be working on it. And it's almost like
And then if you stop for
stop,
a couple
it's done.
weeks, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
The Malibu show, I hadn't done stand up in like a few weeks, so I was like, ugh, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I say?
how often do you go up usually now?
I go up like once a week in town, and then I do like 2 shows on the weekend. That's it.
That's good.
I'd
though.
love to do
So
more, but
you're touring more though now.
yeah, I
the
just
road.
go out on the weekends though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing I'm going to Ohio next weekend, and then I'm doing 4 shows in California in November and December. I'm going to Oxnard, Irvine, San Jose, and Ontario.
That's great.
Yeah, and then
That's
I'm
great.
done. Then I'm going to stop.
Then you're gonna stop.
Then I'm going to stop touring, and then I'm just going to do stuff around town
Right.
until I can get better.
Now your YouTube channel and TikTok.
Yeah.
How long have you been like? What is your production schedule for some of these? Like you have you have a podcast called All Good Things
Yeah.
Podcast, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
I've been doing that for about a year.
For a year.
Yeah, I had another podcast before called Views.
Views.
And with my partner, and he quit.
He quit.
He retired at 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just from being successful.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So that was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to do something else. So now I'm doing a podcast by myself, which is like, it's good.
How do you like doing the podcast? Do you like it?
I like it. It's just tough to get guests. It's tough to get somebody in there. to
It
talk
is
to.
hard, right? I mean, like someone notable or that's gonna make it worth interviewing or
Yep.
whatever. Like I try to do an episode a week.
Yep.
I started this podcast kind of in pandemic.
Yep.
And then we did it like twice a week because we had nothing else going on, and then I took a year off almost because I got a divorce and I was moving and all that shit.
Oh, you got a divorce?
I got a divorce.
How long were you
yeah.
married for?
About 6.5 years.
Oh, I was married for 10 and I got divorced.
10? Yeah. But now you're engaged, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
engaged.
great.
I met somebody else.
That's great.
I never thought I'd meet somebody else.
Yeah, that's how I think right now, especially living in LA. I'm just like,
Yeah.
fuck, man.
I never thought I would, and that life's so funny like that.
It's funny, you know. Things happen the way they're supposed to happen for a reason, I think, and then when you least expect it, you might meet someone.
Do you know what was nice about it was that I was at the point where I was like, I'll never meet anyone else. I know I won't.
Yeah.
And I was also really good with it. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now, kind of. You know, I'm like 2 years out from being separated, divorced, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I threw myself into work.
Yep.
A lot, and I was working like 7 days a week, just all the jobs I've had, and plus comedy and
What kind of jobs?
I own a dog walking business.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you still do it?
I do. Yeah, I've had it for like 16 years. So I do that. I work for some celebrities, their dogs and stuff like that.
Do you walk them, or do you have people that
I
go
walk them. I have an assistant or two that also helps. But I do that. I work at the Improv. I bartend there twice a week. Up the street from here. Yeah. So I do that.
Shit.
I just and I didn't. I started bartending a year ago, kind of like when I was going through this separation divorce thing.
Yeah.
And I used to do it in my 20s, and I was like, I kind of just wanted, I was like, I need something fucking social. Like, I was like, I need to get, the dog stuff's great, but it's like very isolating. I'm just hanging out with people's dogs all day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't talk to anyone really. So I was like, I just need to do something. I need to work. I need to be focused, entertained, whatever.
That's so smart.
Yeah. And I just was doing that like for a year and a half. I was working like every day almost.
Do you when you're at the Improv, have you ever made like a great like connection there, or a great friend, or got somebody on your podcast?
Yeah, you meet people all the time. I get to produce the Basshole show at the Improv Lab, and then we also do it at the Bourbon Room, obviously, which you were on.
Yeah.
So yeah, you meet people all the time, which is cool. It's a good place to be.
Everybody comes in.
Everyone
there.
comes in. You can talk about it. You can pitch your thing. I'm trying to get more guests on this show. I'm down the street from the place, so it's like it's a good location.
Really close
by, all that good stuff. So
Damn.
yeah, it's just it's another grind, but it's a good connection to have.
What do you ultimately want to do?
What I ultimately want to do, I love doing this podcast,
Yeah.
and I love doing the live show, which you were a part of.
Yeah.
I ultimately would love to do this and tour around with that show.
Yeah.
Basically, and make money from it.
You know, your show is the remind me of Kill Tony.
Yes,
which is me and my fiance's. We're obsessed with Kill
You guys
Tony.
are? Yeah.
I don't know Tony.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe met him like a long time ago, maybe at like
Right.
an open mic, like a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
But that show, like we watch it every Monday night.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because it's just we can't wait for him to drop that new show on Monday night. We sit in bed and we watch it.
Yeah, it's a great show, and the Basshole show is a little similar to it. Yeah, for sure. Whereas we just have the asshole story, and it's a little different, but yeah, it's very similar. Yeah. But Kill Tony is great, and when it was here, I went up to it a couple times. I never got on it, but I went.
Did you sign up?
I did sign up, but I only went like 3 times, and I never got picked. But
I wish I'd signed up and tried it when he was here.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch. It was fun to watch.
It's so great because he's vicious to people if they're bad.
Oh,
but
yeah.
there's if somebody's good, he'll give it up. He can change their career.
No,
or he'll take them on the road.
Yep.
I've seen people go up there and they're like literally nobody. And then he's like, you're gonna open for me in Denver this week.
Yeah,
And
if he likes your comedy or
great.
thinks you have potential,
Yeah.
he'll throw you a bone. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what's great about it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of my goals is to start going on the road with the Basshole show.
Yeah,
and
you should
just book it in a couple of different cities, try it out.
How would you do that? You need to bring 8 or 9 people, right?
What I would do, we were talking about this, Keita and I. It would be a little different for the road. I think it would be we would book local comics in whatever city we went to. So we'd have 4 or 5 Basshole comics, in Cleveland or whatever.
Got it.
And then, I would probably do more time, obviously, because it's just on the road. I'd probably do 20 minutes or something like that, plus the other comics. For the judges, we'd have maybe a local celebrity, like the weatherman or the DJ from the Morning Zoo or something like that.
That's good.
So something like that. You'd have to alter it a little bit for the where you're going, but I think it's doable. And then that way, people are bringing people because they're like, oh man, look at this show. I'm gonna tell my asshole stories and stuff like that. So we're gonna try to do that. I think within the next year, try to get it a couple cities.
And you do the show once a month now?
We do it once a month. We do it in the Improv, and then we go back to the Bourbon Room. So we alternate.
When's the next one?
The next one is this Sunday, the 29th, at the Improv.
Hell yeah.
And then the 28th of November at Bourbon Room. So yeah.
Oh, okay. October and November. Got it.
October, November. Yeah.
Great.
So
right.
I like doing it at the Bourbon Room because the stage is great for it.
I love that little room in the Improv though.
It's good. It's good. It's a different vibe when we do it there. It's more of like a party atmosphere. It feels like.
Yes.
Because it's a little more. Anything can kind of happen. You know, there's not enough room on the stage. Like I'm hopping on the stage and hopping off because we got the judges, we got the comic. I go on, then
really
I hop
tight.
off. It's tight. It's tight. The Bourbon Room, at least, like you have everyone on there and you kind of interact with everyone.
I've had so many good sets at that little room.
It's good.
It just like
The lab is great.
I've done sets there that have started poorly, and then I've been able to save it.
Yeah.
Just because of the like energy of the room, and just because the people are like right there, you can see their faces.
Yeah, it's a great intimate room, and it's
Yeah.
like it's either a very hard room or it's an amazing room. It's like it depends on like.
I got discovered in that room.
Really?
Yeah,
That's great.
I was doing stand up in that room, and I was like super broke, and I was about to go on and do material about like my marriage or whatever, and I looked in the audience and I was like, oh man, everybody's like fucking fans of Vine or whatever, or fans of YouTube. And so I changed the set and I just talked about millennials or whatever. And then I walked off stage, and then David Dobrik, who was like a big YouTuber at the time, he walked right up to me and he was like, oh, do you want to make videos? And I was like, oh.
That's awesome. So I don't know him that well, but I know the name and I researched him a little bit. So he kind of like discovered you a little bit and brought you under his because he's a big YouTuber, right?
Yeah, it was just a wild story. It was just like I was like so down and out. I owed like $60,000 in taxes. I was like getting divorced. I was and then this kid was like 19 or 20 at the time, and he was like, oh, you can come work for me. And I was like,
that's amazing.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, sounds great. And then luckily we had like the same sensibility and stuff, so it worked out.
That's awesome. And that guy, he's got a pizza place now on Sunset, right?
Dobrik's Pizza, delicious. Yeah.
I had it like last week.
Did you? It's really good.
It's good.
It's Detroit style.
Yeah, it's thick. It's like you just need one piece. And you're
Yes,
good,
just one.
Yeah. So what is so you were also on Last Comic Standing, is that correct?
Yep, I was on there.
In 2010. How was that?
Oh my God, I don't know.
You got on though, right? Yeah. This is before.
I don't know how I got on.
This is before Vine and everything.
I think I had like 3 minutes of material, honestly, and I just was like, you when you're coming up, you're just like, okay, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Like I literally would. I literally have played. I was playing like Sweet 16s for like money.
Be seen. You're on a TV. Reality show.
So I went and did it, and I could tell right when I was doing it that I was like, oh, I don't belong here. I'm not good enough to be here.
Yeah.
At all. And you could tell when the judges would like judge you.
Who were the judges for that season?
The only judge I remember was Kindler.
Okay. Yeah,
who I love.
Yeah.
Who's so funny.
Yeah,
and he was. I remember I made some joke about looking like Ellen DeGeneres, and he judged it like that was pretty hacky, and he was right. It was like. But that was all I had.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So stand-up's always been really, really tough because I've never.
That show was so interesting. I wonder if they'll ever bring it back because it was on for a couple seasons, right? Like 3 or 4 seasons.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think they'll bring it back?
Like, why would they?
Yeah.
Because like even like
it's changed. The game has changed with Instagram and everything. I think, right?
And I was talking to Fluffy, and he was on there, and when he went on there, he was already so big.
Yeah.
So Fluffy like took a loss to go on that show.
Right.
They had to convince him because he was already touring.
Well, that's the thing. Since it's a reality show, it's like they have a combination, I think, of like people that are successful touring right now, but they're like, we'll throw you on the show, you'll get TV time, more people will know you, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's the open mic people that are like not good at all, or they're looking to rip apart or whatever, and it's like it's a combination of that.
And that's where Tony comes in.
Yeah.
Like Tony's version is so much better than Last Comic.
Sure, yeah.
Because you get to see the best part of the show is when the people are bad.
Right.
It's so good.
And that's why, like, even with Basshole, it's like, I'm like, you don't have to even be a stand-up comic to do the Basshole show. You can just have an engaging asshole story, and like you can go up there and try, 2-3 minutes and then go into your asshole story.
Yeah.
And even if you are a hot mess or a disaster, that's the fun part for myself, the host, and the judges and everything like that. So it's like, we just kind of bring the funny out of it.
Somebody told me too that they were like, I was asking somebody, I was like, how come they don't take these comedians that are like really big, the big YouTube comedians, and why don't they put them in movies? And somebody was like, because it's a loss for them.
Yeah.
For Theo Von to like go and
do
shoot a movie for 3 months.
Right.
It's like he's gonna lose money on it. I mean, unless it's
Well, it's like
insane. It's a gamble.
It's like these YouTubers. There's a whole generation that knows them as celebrities. It's today's version of a celebrity, internet celebrity. Like people know you from your YouTube work and stuff, and they're watching stuff on YouTube. That's their movie theater almost. So for them to go to a movie theater and watch so and so, you and the other guy or whatever in a movie, it may not translate. I don't know.
You know what I watched last night was Bill Burr's movie.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Keita was telling me.
It's great.
Yeah. You liked it? Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Okay.
He's really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the jokes are like really fresh.
Okay.
And like
I'm gonna check it out this week.
And it really, I think when I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job of like, so it's a dad who's like
Old
working
dads.
against woke culture. His kid's school, his company gets bought, and that could be really bad.
Yeah.
That's like an idea that could be done really poorly, but they do it really great.
Well, because it's like, I feel like those type of movies like Old Dads, Bad Teacher, or like, it's all these like cliche kind of things or whatever. But that hasn't been done yet. And I do like the fact that like there's all stand-ups in it. It's like
yes,
I noticed,
Rick
like,
Glassman's in it. All Natasha Leggero's in it.
Steph Toloff. Yeah, like all these people have like minor parts in it or whatever that are stand-ups. They're not just casting.
When I was watching it, I was like, oh, they're definitely gonna like give Bill Burr like a series.
Yeah.
Like on Netflix or something because he's that good.
Well, because it's almost like the sitcom. That was the comedian's crutch almost back in the 90s and stuff like that.
Right.
Everyone wanted a half-hour sitcom, and now no one wants to watch a half-hour sitcom. Like it doesn't.
But don't you think things are cyclical? Like, won't that come back?
I hope so because
like a 4-camera.
I hope so. Multicam sitcoms. I mean, I grew up on that. I'm sure you grew up on that. It's like Friends, Seinfeld, like all that stuff.
It's a weird thing because when you watch some of them now, that a lot of them hold up. Like if you watch King of Queens,
is great. I love
Kevin James, Leah Remini. It's really good. It's still funny when you watch it.
I used to watch 2.5 Men.
Two and a Half Men is great.
I was like, the writing on that is so edgy for a sitcom. I was like, I'm surprised I got away with a lot of that stuff. But it was like, a lot of people hate that show, whatever. But I'm always like, I like that they're pushing that button there. It's like they're really seeing what they get away with. But I don't know. I mean, like I think they had a couple on Netflix, like multicam, like sitcoms like that. But they didn't really work.
Pop, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'll come back. I mean, I like them because it's like. It's kind of like a theater play, it's like a play that on TV, pretty much. That's you would go watch it in the studio audience. That's how it was shot. They do a joke, it didn't work. They would redo it 2 more times or whatever, And the audience is there laughing and everything, and the actors are engaging with the crowd and stuff like that. It's like theater, but for TV. So it's like and I'm a big fan of that. So I hope it comes back. But I don't know. I don't know if people want to watch it. Like people are watching YouTube now. People will sit home and go down the rabbit hole on YouTube on a Friday night.
I heard Conan O'Brien say something. He was like. He saw like a TikTok video of like some guy like falling off a truck or something, and he was like, I can't write anything that's as funny as that. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, that makes so. That's Conan saying it.
It's reality.
Who's the funniest?
Yeah, he's great.
And I was like, wow, even Conan like struggles with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now for like your YouTube videos and TikTok videos, do you guys like write scripts for these things, or or is it just like improvisation? Like I saw one. I think you were like, was it a dinosaur costume or something? Something was carrying you around somewhere. Like,
that was just like
what was that?
That's like a Halloween costume you can buy, and basically it looks like an alien is abducting you.
Yeah.
So
that was hysterical.
That was just a bit.
I watched that like 10 times and I was laughing. I was like, this is fucking great.
Yeah. Look, I mean, anybody can go buy that costume.
No, exactly. But like the fact that you have like all these people around like laughing and like like are these things staged? Are they like organized as far as the shoot goes? Like,
nothing's staged, and nothing is scripted because number one, me and my friends are not good actors, so that doesn't work. And then the audience on YouTube, they just like real.
Yeah.
So so it's much easier to just do something and have your friends laugh,
right.
And that's like, and then actually play something real,
right?
And like have lines and stuff. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and how many videos are you like cranking out like a week? You'd say.
I do one
TikTok and YouTube. Is it the same kind of platform you use, or like
I do one YouTube video and one podcast a week. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm doing a lot of like live streaming and TikTok. I do Snapchat.
Right.
I just do anything that can make me money and have my kids going to college next year.
Oh, that's great. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
2 kids.
Do you have kids?
No kids.
Oh, you got out of the marriage without kids.
I got out of the marriage, no kids. Yeah.
Wow.
I was thankful for that at least. Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah. So it wasn't too crazy.
But
situation.
also a kid is always a blessing.
A kid is a blessing. I mean, yeah, the only thing you got to deal with is if your ex, obviously, if you're not getting along, then you got to co-parent.
Yeah, did you guys get along?
We're not talking right now, but maybe one day we'll see.
Yeah, it's good to. I remember when I got divorced, I went to the lawyer's office and I couldn't even afford a lawyer, and then guy was like, "All right, well, what do you want?" And the lawyer said that to me, and I was like, "I don't want anything." And he was like, he took his friend out of the room, and the other lawyer, he's like, "Jim, can you talk to me for a second?" And I like fucking sat there, and they came back in. They're like, "Okay, great." And then so like I felt kind of stupid, like the lawyer made me feel like kind of dumb, because I just didn't want to go through that.
Right.
And then maybe like 3 months later, I had to go back to her lawyer to sign papers. It's on Sunset, like a beautiful place on Sunset. This old ass lawyer, like the dude is 80, and he's got like the craziest business. He's probably made so much money.
Oh yeah.
And he calls me into his office and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "I want to tell you something." I go, "What?" He goes, "When you took nothing in this divorce," he goes, "that was the best thing you could have ever done."
Really?
He goes, "I've been doing this for 40 years or 60 years or whatever." And he was like, "I've just seen like so much, pain and suffering through divorce." So I was always glad that I did that.
That's interesting because, like, not to get too personal, but like, was there something you could have taken? Was it like a
well, yeah,
situation
it could have like she had a house.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But I mean, I would never do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You
not to try to paint myself as a great person, but I just think it's interesting. Like, she came from money, but I didn't, and so, and
no alimony or
and
nothing.
hats off to her too, because she's allowed me to like give her money when I have money, and then after I got divorced, I got more successful, so it worked out for her, for sure, because then I was like able to like help, and so now we give each other money all the time.
Get along, and
we get along great.
That's important. Well, for the kids, I mean, that's really important when it comes down to it. It's all about raising your kids.
She's really great. Yeah, she gets along with my fiance, and my daughter loves my fiance.
Good.
And
See, it all works out for the right reasons, I would say. But yeah, divorce could be definitely a nasty situation. It's like I'm still dealing with it here and there, but like I for legal reasons, I won't go into it too much. But like, there's just like a couple things I got to tie up here and there, But like she hasn't done anything yet. It's been all me figuring everything out.
Right.
So that's the annoying part, I'd say. When one person is like taking the reins on like just trying to get it finished.
Yeah. It's really sad when things go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, like you said, you've met now a new woman in your life if you're engaged, and that's great. That's what happens, and that's perfect. See, there's hope. I have hope that there's love after divorce.
Yeah. Time, just let time go by. And everything.
That's what people are saying. Yeah, it's the best. Just take your time. Take your time. Yeah. So the you also produced a movie, right? Is that correct? Called Jason Nash is Married.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Made a movie.
Now, did you direct it?
I directed it. Yeah.
How did you like directing?
I didn't like it so much.
No,
nah,
you didn't like it.
It's too much pressure.
I love directing.
You do?
Yeah, I've done like some shorts. I haven't done a feature yet. It's on my list of things to do one day. But I like.
Are you in the stuff you direct? Because I think that's what's hard.
I have been, but I've also been like a minor character kind of thing, or I've directed other things that I'm not in. I like both, but I do think not being in it is a whole different thing.
The two movies I made, I was in them, and I wrote them, and so I'm more into like trying to be funny or be on camera.
Yeah.
And so the putting directing on top of it, like I'm making a show now, and I was like, oh yeah, I need a director, and they were like, oh, you're not going to direct it, and I was like, no.
It's a big undertaking. Yeah, it's a lot. You're in charge of the whole production. Yeah. And then you're trying to act in it as well. It's a lot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like unless you really don't see anyone else playing the role that you've written or whatever, it's like that I get. It's like, or if you do get the chance to finally like someone's like, yeah, here's money, like let's fund this thing, and it's like, fuck, man, I really want to be in this. This is my one shot or whatever. Then you're kind of like, maybe I'll be in it.
Yeah, I mean. For me, like, I don't know. I don't have ideas for other people.
Yeah.
So that's a
good.
big problem.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm pretty limited. So I have like one idea.
Right.
It's like, it's the Jason Nash show. That's it.
Jason Nash show.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we'll see.
And is it like a talk show? Like what is it?
No,
Or
it's like a
sitcom?
It's like a Curb, like
Curb. Yeah,
Curb, like a just my life.
I love
a
that.
50-year-old influencer.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you are surrounded by these young generation TikTokers.
Yeah.
Gen Z, whatever you want to call them. How old do you feel when you're around them?
So old.
Really?
Yeah, you feel so old, and you they make fun of you.
But is that all part of the bit, kind of like some of the stuff you guys?
I'm not even talking like when the cameras are on. I'm just
really?
saying
Just off camera.
I think yesterday I said something like, what did I say? I said I'm gonna hop online. I think I said, or one time I said, one time I was trying to get David to hire this guy.
Right.
I was like, oh, you should talk to this guy who wrote for SNL. He'll fax in jokes. And David was like, fax? Like, what are you saying? But then it also goes
now. When people say facts, it's like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah.
It also goes both ways too. Like you'll say a word, and then you'll say a word like I don't know, like what's a fancy word? That's like a $4 word.
I don't know. I can't even think right now. Just a word. They'll do abbreviation. Is what
just a fancy word. Yeah. What's like a really special word?
Like experience or like I don't know.
Anyways,
what's your yeah? I don't know.
The point is you'll say words.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh my god, that's like a really old word, and then you're like, no, it's like you're just dumb.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I've noticed is everything is abbreviated now. Like even
no, I hate that.
Like text, like the acronyms for stuff. Like I've had to look up. I've had a couple 20-year-olds text me 3 letters or whatever, as a response to something, and I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? I don't know. I had to Google whatever the acronym was, and it's like,
I don't mind that. I mind when people are talking and they abbreviate the words.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's weird. Just speak.
Like competition. They would little competition. You're like,
competition.
Right, just say the word.
We've gotten super lazy. This next generation is just they can't even finish a word properly. Yeah. That's crazy. So this is the Basshole Show. Do you have an asshole story that of your own, a time that you've been a basshole that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I was an asshole in my first marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm realizing that now.
It was your fault that the divorce went through, you think?
I mean, it was both of our faults.
Yeah, sure.
I think, but I definitely was just I was an ass. I was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain things because now I'm with somebody, and I'm like, oh, I get it. Because now when my fiance is like, let's go to Bob's Furniture, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Let's go, But when my ex would ask, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm like, I'm not going to Bob's fucking Furniture. I'm like, I got to work. And I'm like, we got 2 kids to feed. I'm like, I'm not fucking going. You want to spend Sunday at Bob's Furniture? Are you fucking kidding me? We have no money. So now I realize that, I should have been, because I didn't realize that relationships and work, it's you have to put equal amounts of time into them.
You do, yeah, you really do.
So,
and it's because it's like I feel like my ex and I were both workaholics as well, and but we also did a lot of things together. But it was you have to even it out, kind of. You gotta have time for fun and work and play. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday I was working. I got home from the road. She picked me up at the airport, which is super nice. And then I got home. We hadn't seen each other for 3 days, and then I started working again.
Yeah.
And then I went into a work hole for 3 hours.
Right.
I was live streaming. So when you're live streaming, you're literally locked away. You don't check your phone, you don't check your gas.
You gotta focus, yeah.
And then she got a little pissed off, and she's started to leave, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll close this, and let's go take care of this.
That is the hard thing, I would say. When you are a YouTuber or streaming or podcasting or whatever, it's I don't know, for me at least, I remember when I started doing this, it was I'd have my work during the day, the dog stuff or whatever, and then she'd be working during the day, and then come home at night and I'd be like, well, I got a podcast, and then I got to edit it, and then I got to post. It's a whole other fucking job, pretty much. And I'm not making any money from this, but it's right. I need to do it to maybe make money off of it one day, or just keep doing it, And sometimes she wouldn't understand. Are you gonna sit behind that computer all night? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got it. I got to get this out, But then it's you got to make time for this.
You have to, and it's the same thing with my kids.
Kids.
I stopped. If my kids call, I will drop everything.
Of course.
You know, and so I have to do the same thing with my relationship.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, it's getting the master schedule down and really delegating time to each thing, because every one of them is super important in their own way. But it's just, yeah.
You ever see these guys that have everything? I love these Instagram guys that have their day like all worked out, and I'm always like, "Fuck you." I'm like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, like 6 a.m. I get up and I
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
They're up.
I have 3 egg whites and a coffee, and then I work out for 3 hours.
I do emails from 4 to 4:35, and then at 4:35 I'm at the gym.
Right.
It's just,
and then at 10 o'clock I'm back in bed. That would be me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm super tired already. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah.
You ever watch Rob Dyrdek's show?
I have not. No.
Oh, we'll follow Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like he has like an empire that he built.
Yeah.
And but now his like podcast is like about like productivity.
Rob Dyrdek. All right.
Yeah, from Ridiculousness.
Yep.
And it's pretty good. Like but you watch it and you're just like, oh, fuck you. It's like, I can't, Rob. I'm like, I know you figured it out.
Right.
But like,
I haven't yet.
I just can't. How do you get everything done? And then he brags about it too. He'll be like, he's like, I get everything done. He's like, and by 1 o'clock, I'm hanging out with my wife.
See,
and you're like, what? No, you're not. No fucking way, dude.
Like, since you are such a busy guy, though, it's like, so what are things that you do that make you lose track of time? Would you say like things where if you find yourself like, what am I fucking doing? I just wasted all this time or whatever. But you might enjoy it.
I just go into like a straight depression.
Yeah.
Like from like 6 to like, I don't know, like, oh, I know. I'll be like up from like 10 to 1 while everyone's asleep, and I'll be like,
you're a late night guy.
No, like I go to sleep and then I wake up. I'm like fucking worried about money, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna get it.
Right.
And then I'll just go like, I'll watch like podcasts or whatever.
Right.
So that's how I waste a lot of time. What I should do is like, if I can't sleep, I should get up and work or edit something.
Yeah, that's kind of what all my free time goes into like this stuff or whatever, and then like, people ask me like, "Oh, have you watched this TV show?" And I'm like, "I don't have fucking time to watch a show. Like, I really don't. Like, unless I'm sitting with a significant other and being like, we're watching this show.
You don't watch shows?
I try to, but then I'll start it, and then I'm like, before I know it, I'm sitting back here again, like doing something.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know. I like to go to a movie theater and watch a movie because I'm like dedicated there for 2.5 hours, and like I don't have my phone on, I don't have the computer, the dog's barking, nothing's distracting me for the 2 hours. But here I'll put something on and I'll be like, yeah, I should edit these clips, or I should do this, and then like I'm not paying attention to the fucking show by the end of the half hour. So
I mean, I really liked what Seinfeld said. He was like, he's like, if you're a comedian, he's like, you shouldn't have a podcast. And I was like,
did he say that?
Oh, I was like, he's right.
He is right. I guess so. I don't know. I'm a fan of like, I think there's all kinds of comedy. So, you know what? I like, stand-up comedy. You can have a podcast. Like I'm a big like David Letterman fan, a big Howard Stern fan.
Me too.
I consider them comedians in a way. You know what I mean? Like not stand-up per se. Like Letterman he started stand-up, but then like once he got that show, he never really did stand-up again.
No.
But he did jokes on the show, but like then he became an interviewer or whatever. But he was still a master at what he did. And same thing with Howard Stern. It's like, I think he's hysterical. So it's like. I don't know. Like you can do stand up, but yeah, if I would say like if you're not practicing your hour, like Leno is a perfect example, doing the Tonight Show, but still doing stand up every weekend while doing the Tonight Show. Yeah. So there's a difference. Like, are you practicing your hour? Are you working on it, or are you just doing interview podcast or whatever, or late night TV show? So there are all different elements of comedy, I'd say. But yeah.
I mean, I have a podcast, so I mean, I shouldn't talk. But
no,
I thought when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, he really should be committed to. To the craft.
So you've been doing your podcast a year now, and what kind of guests do you get? You get some big names on there.
You get big names, and then we don't, and then we do, and then it's like we had some big names on there, and then some weeks it's like Julie Bowen and Phineas and
you do it every week,
DeVito, and then other weeks it's my friends, and then
that's a combination,
The friends sometimes do better than a celebrity,
sure,
because people know the friend,
and that's kind of like I try to do one at least once a week, and like I've been trying to get some more notable guests on, and interesting people is what I'm more like a goal for. I'd rather have an intellectual conversation with someone that's really funny, interesting.
Have you had anybody on that's been like really interesting?
I've had a couple people on. I remember when I first started, I had an ex-con on.
Oh, that's
I
fun.
forget his name, but it was a while ago. But
Not that stand-up who's an ex-con.
no, it wasn't even stand up. It was like a guy that like went to prison for like for like laundering money or some shit.
What did he say about prison?
He says it was harsh, man. He was like, he's like not a place for the weak,
Really?
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing, like, I have mostly comedians on, because I like to do it in person like this, just because it's, more fun, I think.
Yeah.
But, if you get these remote people, you can get people on remote wise, but like, it's not as good. I feel like, it's.
Yeah. I've never done a remote one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it can be good if it's a big guest.
If it's a big guest, sure, because it's like, you know that they don't want to come into your studio, and I record this in my home, so it's like if I were to get like a big celebrity, I probably would go to a rental studio.
Yeah, but
or
that's really common now.
Yeah, for sure.
I have my studio at my house.
You have your studio at your house?
Yeah. People like that, I think.
I think they like it. I think it
the
kind of
parking's easy.
It kind of like it normalizes it a little bit.
When I have to go to like a building,
yeah,
like almost like a radio station,
it's a whole
like
thing.
Fucking get parking.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Just getting people, getting interesting people on. Celebrities sometimes help, your ratings, I'm sure, or whatever. But it's always.
I mean, it's fun if when you do get somebody big, it's great to talk to somebody who's been to the top. That's probably the most interesting thing. So, like, for example, I had Dane Cook on.
Oh, nice.
And so, to sit and talk with Dane for like an hour, you're like he's been to the top.
Yeah.
And so just that process, and then what he's doing now, and I found that really, and he's a really inspiring guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And same with Julie Bowen, like, to be on like that show and to be that funny and to work with like
Modern Family,
those writers like Levitan, it's insane. My daughter, she watches Modern Family like it's really funny. She's like friends with Julie Bowen. She's been to like Julie Bowen's house, you know, but like my daughter doesn't tell her that, she watches Modern Family 5 days a week,
no,
4 shows a day.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting when you finally like meet the celebrity that you've grown up watching, or you're obsessed with their show and you don't really want to tell them, or you work with them in some capacity and you're just like, yeah, hey, what's up?
It's such a weird thing, isn't it?
It's weird. It's because I work for a couple people, and it's just like, oh, you are who you are. It's like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, it's like you don't want to seem like crazy, Yeah,
you don't want to seem like, I don't want to meet Tony Hinchcliffe because I'm like, I don't know, like maybe I'll be like,
you'll be like crazy.
I'll be too.
Yeah. And then now they're doing that show in Austin, which is
yeah.
That's become a huge comedy bubble, that place.
Yeah, he's doing. They're playing like a giant arena on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. It's an awesome show. I mean, that's kind of my goal for this show, the Bass Hole Show. But we'll see what happens.
I met Mark Wahlberg. I was totally weird.
Really?
Yeah, I get weird around celebrities.
What's the weirdest thing? How do you act? You just like freak out, or you just like shy?
I just freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, hey, what's up?
You forget how to talk
I'm
all
Jason.
of a sudden.
He's like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. Are there any celebrities that have recognized you from your YouTube and TikTok stuff?
Celebs?
Yeah.
No,
they don't watch
I don't think so. What did I say? I think Ken Marino's kids were fans.
Ken Marino? Yeah.
But I know Ken, but
yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
He was like, hey, Dad, can I get my kids get a picture? I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, can I get a picture with you?
That's what's fun. Yeah, exactly. That's what's funny though, because the celebrities' kids, like that's what they are watching. YouTube, TikTok, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're not watching their parents' films. Like they could probably care less about it, It's like, Jason Nash is the celebrity to them.
That's it. Yeah, and that can be embarrassing too, because then the celebrity is like, "Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? Yeah, please explain to me who you are." Like,
why are my kids talking to this pedophile?
Yeah. That's hysterical.
That's mostly if I go to the mall and I meet somebody, like if I see kids, and then the mom will be like, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Am I supposed to know who
you are? Get away from my kids,
like,
please.
And they feel out of it, and I'm like, I wouldn't know me either.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're explaining to your no, it's okay. I'm on Vine or whatever. Yeah. Are you from the Boston area? Is that true?
Yep. Yeah. From Boston, the suburbs.
That's where you were raised. Grew up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of Boston?
I grew up in Medfield.
Medfield. All right.
Do you know Peter McNeely? He fought Mike Tyson. That's our only claim to fame.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I've heard of that area, but because a lot of my two of my exes are from Boston, so I've been to the area.
How unfortunate for you.
I know Tewksbury.
Tewksbury.
and
Tewksbury.
and Acton, I think.
Acting. My sister lived in Acting. Yeah.
So
Boston's great. All those towns
Boston's
are great.
I've been up there a bunch. I've done the whole Cape Cod, weekend, all that stuff. Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a little too fancy.
It's a little. My sister went to school up there at Merrimack or whatever, and she would go to. She spent like summers on Martha's Vineyard, like in college, like working there on the island. Or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I went up there a couple times. It's beautiful, but yeah, it's like super trendy and it's crazy. Super expensive.
And you know what's even worse?
Nantucket.
Nantucket's really.
My friend
trendy.
just went there, and she was like, "Yeah, we spent like $1,000 for like a night in a hotel or some shit," and I'm just like, "That's crazy."
Yeah, but it is pretty.
But I hear it's beautiful. Yeah,
but it's also you get like about 9 weeks of good weather.
Yeah.
And out of the year, and the rest is cold.
The rest is cold and shit. Yeah. That's a nice area up there. I'm from New Jersey originally.
Oh,
so,
I lived in New Jersey.
Oh, did you? I'm from North Jersey. I'm from like Montclair, Cedar Grove area.
You know Summit?
Summit, yep.
I lived in Summit when I worked at Saturday Night Live out of college.
You worked at SNL?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I couldn't afford to.
That's
I
awesome.
couldn't afford an apartment, so I lived with my best friend's mom.
What did you do at SNL?
I was Norm Macdonald's assistant.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He was so funny.
The best.
So funny. I got to see him once live. And
you know what's really funny is like when I was doing it, I was only 21.
Yeah.
And I was just. They just assigned me to him.
Really?
And I knew how funny he was. Like,
so you worked for SNL, and then they would give you like a department to go to, and
I was like
Norm's assistant.
Well, first I was like an intern, and then I was the receptionist. So I just answered the phone, whatever. And then the cool thing about being the receptionist is like everybody would come up and like do their bits and try their bits out or talk to you or whatever. Right. And then Norm, his office was right across, and then eventually they were just like, "Oh, go help him with update," Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, okay," and I knew he was funny, but now looking back, I was like, he was a fucking genius.
He was a genius. Yeah. How long did you work for him?
Like a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Did you stay in touch with him after it all, or no?
I tried. No, I tried, but
how long were you at SNL for?
I was there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get the bug to try to audition for SNL?
I auditioned.
You did audition.
Yeah, I did audition. Yeah. So then I left, and then I was like, that was like a big decision. I got like a job at MTV where like the pay was like, I was making like $400 a week at SNL, but then I got a job at MTV where I made like $1,800.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I can actually live in New York City on $1,800.
Right.
So I took it. I left, and then I started performing, and then I got an audition. I think I auditioned the same year that Fallon got it.
Okay.
Yeah. And how was it? It was a rough audition.
Yeah.
I got
it's so it's so because I did Groundlings out here for like, like 6 years or whatever.
I did
the
Groundlings.
whole thing, and
I got cut from the Groundlings.
So did I.
I got cut the first class.
Oh, the first class.
Yeah. I paid money. There were people in the class that were like, they go around the room. They'd be like, I'm like, say what you are and what you want to do. I'm like, I'm Jason. I'm like, I want to be a sketch performer. I want to be on SNL.
Yeah, everyone wants that.
And then the next person is like, I'm Derek. I own a greeting card company, and I just want to learn to speak better. And then at the end of the class, they have to cut. You get cut. Fucking Derek made it. The greeting card company, and I got cut.
Yeah, dude. I did the whole program of Groundlings, and I did advanced, all that stuff, and the advanced was like the last level you did or whatever. And I did it with a couple friends from high school, like there were actors that I grew up with. And then like everyone that I went through the program with was kind of in my last class, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, and then from there you either made the Sunday Company or they cut you.
Right.
And everyone made Sunday Company except for 3 of us, and I was one of them. It was me and 2 other girls.
That's brutal.
And I was like, fuck, man, this was like the last 5 years of my life doing this shit. Like I didn't even do UCB or anything. I did stand up for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I stopped, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do Groundlings. I'm gonna do improv, whatever, And then it's all I did for like 4 or 5 years or whatever. And like, I really, really loved it and stuff. But then I didn't make it. I was like, I think I'll make Sunday, and then I didn't get picked. And I was like devastated for like a while. And I was like, plus all my friends, like, were in the next thing. But then everyone else got cut from Sunday as well and stuff.
It felt a little clicky.
It's very clicky. It's very political.
Yeah.
Who was your teacher? You remember?
Some guy, I don't remember. Yeah. I see him on commercials from time to time.
Yeah, I had like Flo from Progressive. And,
I know Stephanie. I used to know Stephanie. Yeah, she's great.
Courtney. Yeah, she is great. Yeah. But yeah, it was cutthroat. Yeah, but yeah, a couple of people got SNL auditions.
It also wasn't necessarily my thing either.
Looking back, it wasn't my thing either. Like I wish I had done UCB and Groundlings at the same time and continued to do stand up or whatever. But I just kind of stopped. But like. Yeah, it was like the wigs and the glasses and the top character.
I remember like doing a character and they were like, "You gotta dial it up."
Yeah, yeah.
Like you gotta make it bigger.
And now I think it's like, there's still some of that on SNL, but it's like now you're better off being yourself, like as a comedian or like an actor. It's like everyone wants like a version of themselves almost, like a fictitious version. Yeah. And like the wigs and the glasses, it's too much now. It's too much. Like people are like, I don't buy that. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yes, I know.
But there was a time where it was like, oh yeah, this works or whatever. So I don't know if there's that much of that anymore. But like I haven't been to a show there in a long time. But it's a very niche kind of comedic style. Yeah. But well, Groundlings, yeah, that was definitely interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, is there any other asshole stories you have? Anything else besides
any other asshole stories?
Besides, is there a time that like you were just growing up or anything like that?
Growing up, was I an asshole?
College? Did you go to college?
No, I got picked on mostly. College, was I an asshole? My son wants to go to college in New York, and I've been kind of an asshole because I just keep pushing for him to stay here.
You don't want him to leave. Yeah.
I was like, go to UCLA.
Right. That was me. I wanted to come out here to college, and my parents were like, no, you can't go.
And that's what he wants to do. He wants to go and live his life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Stay home. Yeah.
I don't go to New York.
Yeah, I mean, it must be hard. Yeah, like to have the kids kind of do the empty nest kind of thing where they leave.
I just think it would be perfect if he was here because then I don't need to see him all the time.
Yeah,
but like on Sunday I can see him
So right now you're putting your foot down a little bit. Yeah,
I'm not putting my foot down.
No, you're gonna let him decide.
My ex-wife is like, he'll go where he wants to go.
Well, Right. Yeah, my parents were like, no, it's too far. LA's too far.
So where'd you end up going?
I ended up going to school in Pittsburgh, a school called Point Park University.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Downtown Pittsburgh. It was the one school that I could do. I wanted to study theater and film at the same time and kind of be done in 4 years. And it was the one school that I was able to do that in 4 years.
Did you get a film degree?
A film degree and a theater degree.
Did you make a thesis film?
I made a short 15-minute student film. Yeah.
What was it about?
It was called it was about James Dean. It was life after 1955.
Who played James Dean?
This kid that I was in college with. His name was Justin something. He kind of looked like him a little bit. And
did he ever become an actor?
No, he went into like music or something like that. He still lives in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I haven't talked to him, but it was kind of like it wasn't silent, but there was like not a lot of dialogue in it. There was a lot of music and like sound effects and like various I don't know. It was an art piece, but it was interesting.
I got hired for like a student film once, and I didn't know how to act, and I don't know what I was doing. I was like moving really fast because in my mind I was thinking about like a movie because it was a silent film,
right?
So I was like trying to move like a silent film in like the 1920s. And they were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, it's like supposed to be fast,
right?
Like
you're making a choice."
Yeah. They're like, "No." They're like, "It's They weren't fast,
right?
They were done.
Yeah. We were cranking the film.
Yeah, the speed of the film was fast. The actors weren't acting fast.
They just went normal. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that was the interesting. Like, I think it was the last generation to use. We shot everything on film, and then we went in and cut it, spliced it with the tape, and did all that.
That's fun,
and it was fun. But then, like, as soon as I graduated and moved here, everything went digital, like literally overnight.
Useless.
And I was like, fuck. Now I got. Then I had to like buy a computer and learn Final Cut, and like I was like, I don't know how. I was like, what the fuck did I just go to school for? It was like and it was like something I'll never use again. But like, it was kind of cool to be able to do that once.
Wait, do you use AI to edit the podcast?
I just started doing that, like maybe like I use like what is it? Like AI gives you like
tells the most hilarious story. He has this editor he like pays to the nose to like edit his podcast, and so then he was like the editor was over, and the guy's like he's like it's this AI like it'll cut 3 cameras in a minute and a half.
There's like a program.
An hour podcast.
Right, yeah.
And the editor was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I don't need you anymore. He's like, I put the 3 cameras in. He's like, look.
Yeah, there's a program. Like I do live switching on this just because it's like, it's just easier for me like later. But like, yeah, if I had a 2-shot of like both of you guys sitting there or whatever, you could put that in and then it would just like kind of cut it up in a way or whatever. And it also picks like, clips that they think, might be like interesting or whatever, and it's like,
well, that's different. That's different. That's like
AI.
AI can cut you TikToks. I'm talking about like the Premiere program, which
the
it just
AI.
automatically, like when I talk, it just
it goes to you.
It goes to me.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use that really because everything is done like when we're done with this file will be ready to go. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
something really funny about someone like finding out that they're obsolete.
I know. Well, everyone's becoming that way. It's like AI. I feel like AI has been around, but like for some reason it also just appeared overnight, like in the last like 5 months, where it's like here's all these apps, AI apps that you can use, and I'm like, oh, these all just appeared within like a couple months ago.
I saw Van Halen once, and it was David Lee Roth, Eddie. And then they had gotten rid of Michael Anthony, the bassist, and it was Eddie's son, Wolfie, on bass. And I was always like, oh, that must have been weird.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Wolfie's playing the bass. And Michael Anthony's like, oh, really?
Yeah. I know. You've been replaced. Yeah. AI is cutting people
He's actually
out.
pretty good.
Yes, I saw them too at the bowl, I think it was. Yeah.
Van Halen, they're great.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah. Yeah, concerts are getting ridiculous, though, the prices. It's like...
we saw Taylor Swift.
Oh, you went? How was it? Are you a Swiftie?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get destroyed online.
It seems like you had fun.
You can't talk about 2 things. You can't talk about fucking Hamas, and you can't talk about Taylor Swift.
You can't badmouth her. Yeah.
No, Taylor Swift's great.
Yeah,
she's great. She writes great songs. She's the greatest.
I mean, it looks like
writer.
it looks like the show is amazing. Like
it's amazing.
It's a spectacle, like viewing show.
It's an unbelievable show. She made so many people happy.
Right.
But enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear them.
The movie.
Let somebody else have a chance.
Let someone else. Like I want to go see the U2 at the Sphere. Like I want to go see that.
I want to go to the Sphere.
I hear that like I haven't seen U2 yet. I'm trying to see some of these people before they're not around anymore. And I'm like, that might be one that I gotta.
I keep asking people to go to the Sphere, and they're like, "Yeah, but to see U2," and they don't want to go.
No, I don't know why. Why not? Because it's U2. I heard.
I used to love U2. I just.
Here's the thing: Dion Cole during his set at the Improv the other night, he went to see U2 at the Sphere. And
what did he say about it?
And he was like, as a black guy, he's like black people just go like it's U2, I get it, he's like you don't even have to like their music. He's like you're just taking the whole thing in. He's like it's amazing. He's like do yourself a favor and go.
Right, I get it. You can go from a technology standpoint just to see it.
Exactly.
No, he's just a little preachy sometimes.
Yeah.
And,
for sure. Yeah,
it's a little pretentious.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
well,
but
I don't know.
But maybe
we'll
I'm
see.
sure it's great.
I'm sure they're all great. I mean, you're gonna spend $1,000 on a ticket. It better be fucking great.
That's the other thing. It's like I want to see somebody that I love. Like if it was the Strokes, or if it was like Steely Dan, or if it was like Kanye.
All these tickets are super expensive now, though. It's like you're at least spending $500 a ticket.
Yeah.
Even like I was looking up Springsteen tickets here at the Forum for next year. Seats behind the stage are $250.
$250
each behind the stage. You're not even looking at him. You're looking at his ass. It's like
right.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's kind of.
And then they're doing. I've heard like some concerts are doing listening only seats. Have you heard about this?
No.
It was like Beyonce, I think, in New Jersey or New York or whatever. It was like there's a curtain up or whatever, and you could sit behind the stage, but you're listening only. You're not going to see any of the spectacles or anything. You're just hearing them. You're in the stadium, but it's listening only.
Wow.
Price, and it was still like at least $150 or $200.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Just listening only.
Listening only. I mean, I guess it makes sense if
maybe they put a TV up though.
I would imagine
they must
so.
put a screen up.
Like listening only makes sense if you're blind. I would say, like if you are a blind person, it's like, look, I'm not watching anything. I'm not going to see it. Like, is it discounted for me? I'm blind. That could be debatable. I guess
it's really funny. Hey, I gotta run over to Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, Jason Nash.
My friend isn't. I'm not in. My friend isn't.
Yeah, he's not appearing on Jason's. All right. So your show's coming up. You're going to be touring anywhere soon?
Yeah, November 12th at. November 12th in Irvine, November 19th in San Jose, November 26th in Ontario, December 10th in Oxnard.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jason, thanks so much for coming into the studio.
Doug.
Yeah, it was great having you. Make sure you follow the show and Jason at Jason Nash. Remember, folks, don't be a basshole, but if you are, laugh about it. Ciao.
You've been listening to I'm a Basshole with Doug Bass. Follow us on Instagram at Basshole Show. Think you deserve to be on the show? Email us at contact@bassholeshow.com and visit our website at www.bassholeshow.com and get the latest information. Subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast fix. And don't miss the full videos on YouTube. Remember, don't be a basshole, but if you are, laugh about it. We'll see you next time.